the Sun-Times newsroom, I'm Kate Grossman in for Natasha Korecki, and this is Off Message, where we go beyond the talking points to the heart of the issues affecting Chicago, Springfield, and Washington. Well, the mayor himself stopped by the Sun-Times yesterday to speak with our editorial board.
Look, I left Washington, Fran, for a reason. I think it's a rotten town.
Fran, you were there. What struck you most about what the mayor had to say?
What struck me was his attack on the media who have gone after his chief financial officer, Lois Scott. He was absolutely fuming. If smoke could have come out of his ears, it would have. You're angry.
Well, I think it's the wrong way to treat people.
He believes this is the kind of attack that used to eat his Washington compatriots alive, and he said it's why he left that crap town in Washington.
Emanuel, for the first time, was very explicit that there needs to be reform to the pension systems and revenue, but he wouldn't say what kind of revenue he was talking about.
Well, he's always been very explicit that he wanted the reform. Now he's, being more clear that there has to be more revenue. Is that taxpayer money or is it casino money? Is he looking for a state income tax increase or something? I mean, it's very fuzzy what he's talking about, I think.
So let's turn to Springfield. So same-sex marriage is in the headlines this week as demonstrators on both sides of that issue descended on the state capitol.
We've got Democratic majorities in the House, and they didn't get the job done. Now they're trying to take God out of our families.
Both sides were well represented. Mark, what do you think? Are we ever going to get a vote in the House on same-sex marriage?
I think there is going to be a vote when they come back to finish the veto session. I think there will be a vote. That's what I'm. Yeah, well, I think if there's a vote, it'll go.
Do you think it's a risk to take a vote if they don't have the vote?
Yeah, I think there's two different questions there. Are the votes there, which everything we're hearing is that they're not yet there? Or do you not take a vote at all? It's a completely different question. Now, there was heavy criticism, even for people that nobody trusts their sincerity in wanting this to pass. Greg Harris, the chief sponsor, state representative, came under a lot of criticism last time around for not pushing for a vote and not forcing people to be, no pun intended, out there with their position.
Well, there's this whole thing that there supposedly are people that are for it, but they don't want to vote for it now. They want to push it off till next spring so that their vote in favor of it doesn't draw them a primary opponent. So other people are saying, well, let's put the vote first so we know we can run against them, although I think
And the black lawmakers are the key, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Because that's where the pressure has come from the clergy.
And if we don't stand for something, we'll fall for anything.
So we'll see. Should be very interesting. We had a vote in the Senate on Valentine's Day, and everyone's still been waiting. So, and we are going to wrap it up with the quotes of the week. The favorite was Mayor Daley was deposed recently. We wrote about it, and he made a lot of I don't recall, I don't remember.
139 times, I counted.
It was so typically Daley.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about why.
The arrogance, the dismissiveness, the I don't have to answer you kind of attitude.
I liked how he didn't even really want to acknowledge that he'd been the mayor of the city of Chicago.
And
or
remember,
for how many years it was.
Millennium Park was his signature achievement. He knows where every leaf is, where every tree is. Don't tell me you don't know the bean.
But he says it was Daniel Burnham's idea, not his. One of the few things he said on the record. But my quote of the week is going to be one of the other very few things he said on the record, which was something to the effect of, they asked him about trees, and he said, I like trees, I like planting trees, and you can put that on the record. So he seemed to be quite aware that he was dodging most of the questions that they had.
I liked it when Daley channeled what I would call his inner parrot. There were a lot of things. There were a lot of times when his lawyer kept interrupting and then and prompting what Daley was supposed to answer, and Daley's lawyer says he doesn't remember it, and Daley goes, doesn't remember it. And Daley's lawyer objects. There's an objection. Daley's lawyer says calls for speculation. And Daley goes, Brock, speculation. There was a lot of that.
And we both enjoyed at the editorial board meeting when Mayor Emanuel called
Craptown.
DC
If he ever goes back to Craptown and tries to run for president or vice president, we'll have a quote to throw in his face.
I left Washington because I think it's a crap town.
But most of the voters who send you to Craptown in an election like that
Think
live
it's
far
a
outside of the
Craptown.
Craptown Beltway. So
This is ridiculous.
Well, that'll do it for this week. For Off Message, join us again next week.